Greetings, grinders. Welcome to another episode of One on One with Duckie. This is Sean Hugas, aka Duckie Succumbs. Back again for another interview. This time we have actually somebody that has played the game as opposed to most of the talking heads that we bring onto this show. So this is going to be exciting. He's also a host on Grinders Live. He pitched for the Detroit Tigers and the Philadelphia Phillies, and he has 25 more wins than anybody else on the Roto Grinders staff. So welcome Zach Miner to the show.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me, Sean.
Oh, hey, my pleasure. So you went from being an athlete to being an analyst now. What was your view on analysts while you were playing, and how does it feel to be on the other side right now?
Well, I never, I understood when I played that the guys, they have a job to do. You would hope that the guys that played the game would take everyone's performances with a grain of salt and not be too, I guess, literal with the guys' performances. If they struggle, you think they give them the benefit of the doubt, but then you really realize that, people want you to give your opinion, and you can't just always say everybody's great and everything's going to be fine. So that's the hardest part for me is, if let's say I pitched with a guy and I just am pretty confident he's going to get rocked that night, you kind of got to say it. That's the hardest part for me.
Oh, so yeah. So there have been people that that you've kind of realized, oh, this is a bad situation for them right now. They're facing we'll say Colorado or something like that. Yeah. Then you just have to accept the fact that, dude, it's not your night, right?
Yeah. But you still try to be kind with that stuff because it is hard. I'd say I'm a little more understanding than, say, Cardi with the stuff. He just stated somebody's the worst pitcher in the world, which I know all these guys are good. It's just, the people that watch our shows, they're trying to make money, so you got to give them your best opinion. And that's the thing for me is I don't play as much DFS as the other guys I host with because that would probably be impossible. I play like every single day, every single slate. But I check every night. When I give an opinion, I go on and I want to see if the guys that I recommended did well and if I did a good job. So that's important.
Have people been harder on you as when you were a player, or now that you're an analyst? How have the people treated you in terms of that?
Oh, I mean, it's good. I think I have a good relationship with the people in chat that we do the show. They're funny. Sometimes they rag me a little bit. We've done a couple segments where I would get asked, stats from my career, and they're pretty fun with that. They pull up tweets, like mean tweets from back when I played, where people would like tell me they were terrible. But Detroit and Philly were good sports towns, so people were always great to me to my face, and even to this day, if I meet a fan or something randomly, it doesn't happen that much anymore because I live in South Florida. It would happen a lot if I was in Detroit or Philly, but occasionally get recognized. But, most of the time fans are really, really nice to your face. The internet trolls will be mean. But you know what? I don't think those people are really out in the sunlight that much, so you don't meet them on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's true. I've had a few that myself, so I guess at best I'm a cult celebrity, so that would be the lowest level I could or highest level.
Celebrity, right?
Yeah, exactly. So actually, I was looking at your stats, and I noticed a funny thing. They have that stat similarity score that compares you to other pitchers, and right now, your most similar pitcher is a current closer in baseball.
Yeah.
Did you guess which closer in baseball right now is most similar to you in terms of career? I mean, I'll tell you, but just if you want to guess.
In career, wow, I would have no idea. I mean, it would have to be like Craig Kimbrell or Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you were so close. You were right on. It was Jeanmar Gomez.
Okay, yeah.
So do you think, how would you think you would have done if you were given a different role like closer? Do you think you would have been suited for that role? Because I mean, right now the guy that's most similar to you has 25 saves at the moment. So it's how do you think you would have handled it?
the one thing I can say about my career is that because I was a young pitcher coming up, and I was by no means going to be a superstar. I don't think I was low to mid 90s guy with pretty good changeup and okay breaking balls, but I had pretty good stuff. But I was a young guy on a really good team, so I was pitching with other superstars, Justin Verlanders of the world and Joel Zumaya. So I never really got a full year at one role. Maybe 1 year I had one role the whole season. But even with that, even out of the bullpen, I would throw long, short, late, early. Maybe I would have put up better numbers if I was on a team that, like Gomez is now. He's on the Phillies and they're terrible. So somebody got a save opportunity and he did good and they gave him another one and he settled into that role. So I think a lot of times roles do help guys in the big leagues when they know each day, hey, I'm going to show up, whether you're a starter and hey, if I get knocked out in the fourth inning, I'm still going to get the ball in 5 days. Or as a reliever, if the phone rings in the fifth inning, it's not going to be me. My turn's in the seventh. I think that does help guys, but I don't know, man. I mean, the closers nowadays are so nasty. I mean, they all throw 100 miles an hour with I don't know if you watched the All-Star game, but they started rolling those relievers out, and it was ridiculous. The breaking balls that these guys had on them, they're all throwing mid to high 90s. I mean, it's just unbelievable how good the guy's stuff is now.
It's gotten to a point where everybody's pretty filthy right now. It's kind of disgusting almost. Because when I grew up, when I was a kid, I mean, you'd have Nolan Ryan, of course, or J.R. Richard or somebody like that. You'd have a guy there'd be one guy that would throw 98. And, maybe you'd have one guy throw 95. And now pretty much it's every team's got three guys on their roster. Why do you think the velocity has gone up so much during this time?
You know what? I just think you can look at any sport. And I was actually having some discussion with my buddies a week or two ago about this. And there's a really cool video that was on the internet of, I think it was Phelps and Lotke swimming some event or something. It was against the Olympics maybe 50 years ago. And it was like a 100-meter freestyle or something. They beat the guys from 50 years ago it was like 25 or 30%. I forget what the time was. But they beat them by like 15 seconds. But it was like 30% faster. And I just think athletes now are bigger. They're stronger. There's more people in the world, obviously. So you have a better chance of finding someone that's really great. And I just think guys are bigger and stronger right now. That's the only thing I can think. I mean,
well, if you were able to get your blood spun, in Germany and use somebody else, another athlete's blood, whose blood would you use in that situation if you were trying to bring back your career?
Jeez. Well, I mean, Joel Zumaya had the best arm I ever played with, but he got hurt. So, I mean, I heard some crazy billionaire the other day wanted like LeBron and Serena to have a kid or something, like some weirdo. I think that'd probably be a pretty good combination. No, I'd probably go with like Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers,
Okay. Yeah.
That would make sense. Married to models and stuff. That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, throw the ball 70 yards in the air like Rodgers and be married. Yeah, and date models. It's a hard life to lead. And I mean, we played with Verlander. Did you play with him during the Kate Upton period? Or that was after that period. That was.
I played with him before that period, but
okay.
Justin. Justin and I were pretty close when we played. And I've met Kate. I've had dinner with them. Like normal dinner. So she's really cool. I think she's going to be great. She's been great for his career, to be honest with you. I'm really happy for him.
How much grief did you give him for that bathroom photo?
No grief at all. Grief at all. I mean, he's got an MVP, a Cy Young, and that picture might rank up there right below those two as far as lifetime achievements, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, no. I mean, believe me, if I was in a naked picture of Kate Upton, I'd probably be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead and make fun of me. I'm fine.
Right? I mean, he didn't look bad in it. And, it's not like he's, like, married and have kids and it was, like, an affair. Like, it's his girlfriend. Like, what are you going to say?
Yeah. That brings up an interesting point, though. Like, social media in terms of selfies and things like that. How do you think your career would have been different if social media was more like it is now with Snapchat and things like that? How do you think it would have affected you?
So it was definitely different. But I know I was aware we had some veteran guys on the team that would, took us under our wing or their wings. And we knew, like, we never really, it wasn't like the Doc and Daryl documentary, but, we had guys, we all, like, after games, you'd go to the hotel bar, have some drinks or whatever. But I was always really astute on, not taking pictures with people, I guess. Not with people, but, let's say you're at a bar after the game and there was some girls that want to take pictures of you. We would always say no, because you never know how it's going to look after the fact.
Right.
You can have some fans, but if you're a family guy, you gotta be smart. Now, obviously, with Snapchat and Twitter and the videos and all that, now people can be taking your video and you don't even know it. So that part's scary for guys, and I'm sure a lot of guys just don't leave their hotel room and stuff on the road. It's probably not even worth it.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, it would be tough, to say the least. Yeah. Oh, darn. I always say, to say the least. I keep getting burned. That people have been giving me grief for that. Now I did it again, but that's okay. In terms of the culture in the locker room, how much were people involved in, like, current events and things like that, or was it different? Was it something that just you were in your own world and it was your own culture in that situation? How involved were the people in the outside world at that point?
Well, Major League Clubhouse is really interesting because, it's sad to say, but it's very cliquey.
Mm-hmm.
The Latin guys usually would hang out around the Latin guys because they're speaking the same language. So they would talk about stuff, in their country or what was on television. I mean, we would talk about stuff, but you're talking about the game. You're talking about what happened the night before, what you're going to do that day, what you're doing on the off day. So obviously big stuff going on right now, election. Obviously the tragedies have happened with the police officers and all that stuff. You would talk about it, and you would have the guys that would probably want to stir the pot and be, far left or far right. But, it's like a microcosm of America. You have most of the people are somewhere in the middle and have some sort of common sense and don't just want to, fly off the handle just to get an argument started.
No, that makes sense. Dean and I were talking, and he told me just to bring it up, especially because I'm a White Sox fan.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Two-part question. Number one, how tough was it when Joe Crede came to the plate? And in life, what is your personal Joe Crede? Non-baseball, where it's just like, damn, I can't get away from this or whatever. But we'll start with facing Joe Crede, who seemed to have your number.
So the worst part about that was, not only was it Joe Crede, but it was like Konerko and Dye raked me too. So those few years, I don't think I got Jermaine Dye out until, I don't know, maybe the last year he was in. It was probably 2009. And I just had to stop pitching to those guys like myself. I started to have to pitch like somebody else. I would throw them, like I was a sinker guy, and I would just have to start throwing them like four seamers away because I'm like, they hit Zach Miner. I got to pitch like somebody else. But, Crede was I would look up and he'd be hitting 215 or 220. And I knew he was going to get a hit off me or would probably hit a homer. It was the craziest thing ever. It didn't matter what I threw to him. He just saw me good. And then there was other guys in my career that, I don't think Ichiro ever got a hit off me. Other guys like Ichiro is going to go in the Hall of Fame, so it makes no sense. Like A-Rod, I don't know if he ever got a hit off me. This baseball's funny like that, It's just such a random game, or sometimes guys see it really good and some guys don't see you at all, and you can just get them out every time no matter what you throw them. As far as life, who's my Joe Crede in life?
Yeah. Or just like certain thing that just gets you.
It's every time I try to go on some sort of like get really lean diet, like I can't do it. Like I love food, like burgers and ice cream, or couple light beers or something. So that's probably it. It's just
So
like
dieting is your personal Joe Creedy. That I guess.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be on some health kick and eating protein, and then I'll open up the cabinet. My kids' Oreos are in there, and next thing I know, I've polished off like 2 rows.
Well, food's a good subject because I mean, you got to go to all the major league cities and stuff like that. What was the best food places that food cities that you used to go to?
Best food cities. Good question.
Yeah.
Philly is great, actually. Like they got a lot of speakeasies and like low key places. It's got some cool districts downtown that have great food. I liked it there. Detroit actually had some really good restaurants that were probably like we lived like 20 miles north of the stadium. That's some really good places. A place called Ocean Prime there in Troy, Michigan. That was one of my favorite places to eat. Every city, really. I mean, Seattle has some really good places. New York, obviously, has got some great places. There's a place called Tao and Lavo that are right across the street from each other in Manhattan. Love going there. Every place, even Cleveland, like even people not Cleveland, but there's a row of restaurants and bars in Cleveland that's unbelievable. So all the big cities had great places to eat.
And what would be your normal off day in terms of when you were pitching in the rotation and you'd have off days? I know you kind of were a swing pitcher, so sometimes you didn't know what day you were pitching. But when you got rotation time, what would be a normal day for you off day?
Off day, if I was home, my family was there. Usually wake up, hopefully late, go to the original Pancake House, crush some grub, and then try to figure something out to do with my sons. Take them to a museum or take them to the pool or something for them. If they weren't in town or we were on the road, golf pretty much 100% of the time on an off day. Golf, go back to the hotel, shower up, and have a nice meal with some of the guys. And there was something cool in the city, we'd go do. But usually it revolved around golf as far as off day.
How is your golf game, by the way? What would your handicap be? What would you say?
My golf game is good. I'm like a 1.5 handicap.
Oh dear.
Yeah, but
okay.
It's funny you ask because last weekend I had a tournament I played in, and I got the little bit of the thing before, and I played horrible. It was like one of the most miserable experiences of my life. I wanted to quit, but I kept going. And then I just went out and played yesterday, and everything was fine. So I don't know if I just choked or what, but it was a rough 2 days. I was not playing good at all.
Is senior PGA a possibility? Is that something you're considering in the future, or if you're at one?
I don't think I'm gonna be in that good a shape by the time I'm 50. So if I could start like 35, yeah. But no, I just I love playing. It kind of keeps my competitive juices going. I've always liked to talk a little bit of trash. So
have you tried a U.S. Open qualifier, by the way, or anything like that?
No, I haven't. This tournament was going to be the first one to start, and I was going to do the mid-am, and then maybe think about that. But I had to have a real heart-to-heart with myself after how poorly I played.
Well, what's the bug in your game that you would say that wouldn't put you up to scratch?
No, it was one of those things. I just I started hitting some bad shots and then just kind of creeped into everything else. I mean, my game is pretty good. I'm probably not as consistent as with everything as the guys that are really good are. I play with some really good golfers. My brother's a golf pro, and those guys just don't. They hit every fairway and they hit the green. The thing that separates them probably is they don't make as many putts. But the guys on tour they're so good. They hit it long, they hit it straight, they hit the green, they make putts. The average guy that's out there, even if he's a scratch, he's still 5 or 6 strokes behind a pro. So I by no means think I have any chance of that. But I still like playing and beating up on my friends that are 15.
Well, was that Stenson Mickelson thing one of the greatest golf events that you've ever seen in your life? Yeah. It
was unreal. My buddy's actually having a birthday party for his son during the whole round, and I escaped to the gym. There was a daycare little room in the gym by his complex. He had it at his pool by where his house was, and I hid in there for like 2 hours, just watched it. It was, they lapped the field by what, 2 or 3 times?
Like 12, like 12 strokes or something.
Yeah, it's the best golfers in the world, and they tripled them up. It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, that last putt Stenson took me out of the money in The Millionaire. But
yeah, I was
okay.
right there too. I was right there too.
Yeah, I was 90 spots out of the money, I think. So it had to be that putt. So it's like, oh well, it's here today, gone tomorrow. I can't really complain. So let's try a few speed questions just to run through. Out of all the players you played with, who had the worst taste in clothing? Who was the worst dresser that you played with?
Worst dresser. Miguel Cabrera.
Yeah.
He would. I mean, it's not a speed round, but he.
Well, no,
earlier in his career, he would, you buy a nice suit. The bottoms aren't, hemmed, I guess, or tailored. Yeah. He would just wear them like that. He wouldn't get the bottoms done. I'm like, dude, you're making like 20 million.
I know, yeah, he's making 200 million. He can't spend $30
no,
on a tailor.
I've seen him in some events lately, and he's dressing way better now. So somebody talk to him.
Yeah. When you pitched, what was the music that you had to have playing in the locker room?
Good one. It was either some sort of, alternative rock, like kind of hard, loud rock, or some like harder country, like an Eric Church or Jason Aldean, something like that.
Okay. In terms of the major leagues setup right now, in 5 years, do you think all the teams that are playing right now will still be in the same cities, or do you think that there'll be additional teams, or do you think there'll be or some teams are going to move?
Good.
I mean, you live in Florida.
Good question.
So I know one team.
I would love if Miami would move farther north in the state, just because they're too far south. It's too hard to get up there.
Right.
I probably only live. I don't even know if I live 80 miles from there, and it takes us an hour and a half to 2 hours to get to a game. Mm-hmm. I feel like they have to do something with Oakland and Tampa. They just don't draw enough. In Oakland, the stadium is just brutal. But I'm going to say they're going to stay. They got to stay in the Bay Area, I would think. Tampa. If there's another big city that can hold two teams, I would love to see them go there too, because they have people that can actually run that franchise pretty well. But no, Tampa's so seasonal. It's more seasonal than down here. They don't draw enough.
Do you think Vegas is a possibility?
I don't know, man. I mean, they have the AAA team there, and to be honest with you, the climate is a disaster. The wind blows like crazy. It's hot. The ball flies, and I don't know logistically how they would do that with the gambling. I mean, I think it would be – they probably would have the best home record in the league. Yeah. Everyone would come in there and they'd party their tails off. But
I mean, Charlotte. What about Charlotte?
Charlotte would be a good place. I think Charlotte could work.
I think Portland might work too if they ever got to it. But
Chicago's already got two teams. New York's got two teams. Is there another big city that doesn't have a?
Yeah, Portland's the only one I could think of but I don't know, and unless they tried something like Austin or something of that sort. But I don't think those are options. I don't think New Orleans,
San Antonio, Oklahoma City.
Yeah. I don't think anybody wants to have a baseball team in Oklahoma City.
No.
I'm just going to say that. What was the best minor league city that you visited while you're there? Or played for your favorite minor league city?
I mean, I liked being in Toledo. It was fun. Indianapolis is probably the best minor league city because it's a big league city. There's one you didn't think of, Indianapolis.
Yeah,
they always drew pretty well, and it was fun to be in like a real city.
I mean, with the Pacers and the Colts, you could tell they're loyal to their team, so they definitely eat it up. So, okay, well, I think we did good here. I mean, anything else you'd like to talk about or bring up while we're here? How about give us your Twitter account in case anybody is listening and wants to reach out to you?
On Twitter, I think it's Zach Miner 11.
Okay. Look for Zach Miner.
I'm not a big tweeter. I go on Twitter. I read Twitter. I'm just not. I don't tweet a lot because I don't really think people care that much what I have to say. Yeah, at Zach Miner 11. No, I mean, I think we covered everything. I mean,
yeah, I think
DFS is a cool industry. I'm glad. I guess my start into the DFS industry is a funny story.
Yeah. Well, let's go there, yeah, because we haven't
So
brought that up. So
I've played fantasy sports for as long as, pretty much I was an adult, mostly football, then got into basketball. And I play in a season-long basketball league with one of my best friend's best friend, who happens to be Cameron McMillan,
okay,
founder and guru of Roto-Grinders. So
resident sex symbol of Roto-Grinders.
yeah.
So yes,
So we play in this NBA league, and Cam, Cam's got his damn algorithm and all this stuff, and he just he's almost impossible to beat. His team, if I roll down his keepers, he's got like Anthony Davis, LeBron, DeMarcus. His team is a joke,
right?
And so we play in this league. It's pretty much like donating $150 every year. And then, but he asked me one day, he goes, "Hey, we're doing this thing. Would you like to come on and, maybe do like an hour guest spot or whatever?" So I was like, "Yeah, sure." So went on and, I didn't play a lot of daily fantasy baseball, to be honest with you, but doing the show and reading the stuff was like, this is actually, I kind of actually know what I'm doing with this more than football and basketball. So I probably should start playing. So no, it was, it kind of got me into it more. And, I do the Sundays. I crush Sundays on football. I'll try to do it as much as possible, but I'm, married, I have 2 kids, so I don't put in as much time as some of these guys. When I listen to like Cardi talk about the wind direction and the umpires that are at the game, I'm like, no wonder I can never win.
It's really the difference. I mean, because I used to be the season guy that would win the league a lot too, and things like that. And I played with some of the people that do well in the game. And yeah, I don't have kids or anything. I have no excuse. I'm just lazy. But then I hear the stuff that they're doing in terms of research, and I go, usually when I pick a lineup, I go, oh yeah, he's a righty against a lefty. Okay, I'll go with that. It gets that simple, Things like, I know he hits lefties. Okay, the end. Yeah,
I do my research for my show. When I play, I don't probably do as much research, but I think last week we started doing our dry runs because the Grinders Live is going national on the Fantasy Sports Network. Right. So, I was like, all right, man, I gotta do some serious research for this show. I sat down. I think 2 hours later, I was done. I was like, oh, is this what they do this every single day? Like,
yes, they do. Yeah.
Tons of cash. But I tell you what, I mean, if you're good at it and you know what you're doing and you got yourself a system, Roto-Grinders makes it so easy. They have all the lineup builders and stuff. It's a lot easier than working a real job if you're good at it. I'll tell you that.
I really should be listening to them and follow that suit on that and just not work a real job and do this. So yeah, I'm with you
100%. Sometimes we're right.
Yeah. Sometimes I pop up in chat and give Dean crap. So it's I will try. When's your next show, by the way? When are you
I'm on Fridays at 5:30. So
okay, so look for Zach on Fridays at 5:30. I'll try to stop in the chat. One last thing to bring up. We have a thing called the Tournament of Shame we used to do. It's back. It's a very simple thing where the last place person has to do something embarrassing, Zach. So just so you know. So the words for this will be coming up soon. I just want to let everybody know I'll be putting up an article hopefully today or tomorrow to prepare everybody. There is going to be a Tournament of Shame this Friday. Probably by the time they play the show, it'll probably have happened, but just know in the future, there will be future Tournament of Shames people. So just want to give you a heads up. And Zach, thanks for coming on the show. And it's been a pleasure. It's nice meeting you. It's the first time we've talked, and it was like we've known each other for years. It was a piece of cake.
Yeah. Anytime you can't get anybody else, just call me. Talk to you for a half hour.
It would be my honor. So, all right. Everybody, take care next week. Next week, I said last week we were going to have Notorious this week. Notorious will be on next week. So he had to do some home improvement. So I gave him a little time off. So talk to you guys soon. Take care.